you need strong team members on both sides, on sales and marketing. Trust each other. You got to coincide when it comes to being successful, because at the end of the day, we're doing it to have cool communities because there are people that need our services and they need what we do.
Welcome to The Move-In, a senior living marketing podcast from Unlock Health, a full-service marketing partner for the aging services industry. Join us for candid conversations exploring the latest marketing strategies with the senior living community leaders and innovative solution partners who are moving our industry forward. Together, we'll build a community to build better communities. Today at Smash, we caught up with Jessi Weldon, the Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing, and Brandon Christiansen, the Director of Marketing, both with Primrose Retirement. They share their insights on building a collaborative culture where sales and marketing work in harmony, not opposition. You will hear how they navigated the transition from siloed departments to a unified team, leveraging data and technology to drive results. In this conversation, we discussed developing a collaborative culture between sales and marketing, leveraging data and technology to align sales and marketing efforts, and navigating the evolving landscape of senior living sales and marketing. All right, let's hear from Jessi and Brandon, the dynamic duo of senior living sales and marketing.
Here is fact on the move in senior living, and Jessi Weldon and Brandon Christiansen with us with Primrose Retirement. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Jessi. I'm the EVP of Sales and Marketing of Primrose Retirement, and I've been a company for almost 20 years. Love senior living, love sales, and so the company I work for.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Brandon? I'm Brandon. I'm the Director of Marketing of Primrose Retirement Communities. Been with Primrose now for 10 years. Started off in sales and migrated my way to where I really love to be, and that's in the marketing side. I did not know you started off in sales, but in the market side. So how do you realize that you found that, I would say, maybe it's a love of marketing, or like, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but how did that transition work?
Well, for me, it was when I started working at the regional sales and marketing factory. You had a little bit of marketing power, sure, but where I really started pulling love back into the marketing side with the data and being able to take your sales data and understand and manipulate it. And I'm like, we're going to do some marketing side. You know, at the time, right, it would all kind of collectively one piece, sales and marketing. So, or it was nice that Primrose saw that, you know, these are two big disciplines that are vastly different. You need people and that are experts on both sides of this. Yeah. So it's able to use like what I was actually trained to do.
Well, it's nice in life to actually use what you're trained.
Hey, but it's nice when you're paying on the college degree and you're going to use it around else.
That's the sad part of life at cons is like, oh, great, we're trained to do this. Well, let's pretend this other department.
Absolutely.
So one thing that I've always appreciated about people is like there's a lot of communication. And, you know, we met last year at our Smash ending our senior housing meetings, so we called up again. And it just seemed to have a unique collaboration. And I think that goes down into the sales and marketing side. And that's why I just wanted to catch up with today and just really see if we just, your thoughts of how to create those best practices, unifying sales and marketing, because far too often in a variety of spaces, like we need an antagonistic part, to play setting where instead of working together, kind of at odds from one another. So before starting just really getting to the details, how do the benefit culture or sales and marketing are working together instead of at odds?
I think when you're a leader with the sales and marketing dual title, I think you're better in one area. I don't know that I've met somebody that's truly an expert in both areas. And I definitely leaned into sales. Brandon is a marketing expert. And we started together as regionals. And so we've grown together through that experience. But I think one of the things that we recognize is that we're not going to win unless we win together. So marketing doesn't win unless sales win. Sales doesn't win without marketing. So we'll call each other, I call him way more because I'm the extrovert, but say, help me poke holes through this idea or tell me how we can make this work. Because I cut the ideas and he's got the ability to execute those and work them through as far as the details go.
And so I think there's a lot of when you're willing to have that core ability and say, I don't know everything. And sometimes that's a tough place to start. And also, like you said, just help me poke holes at this and, let me know where I'm going wrong, or if I'm going wrong, and have that conversation and have it the right team, like atmosphere, so you can generate those conversations. Did you sort of feel like this click in terms of working together? I didn't know if like over time, like just kind of building best practices, or if there were certain campaigns that you really push forward that really opened up your conversation of trust.
So we worked together as regionals for about 2.5 years, and then I moved into the director role. And at the time, Brandon had some pretty huge ideas on what he wanted to do from the marketing side. I'll be honest, I was just trying to get my feet wet in this leadership role, and I'm like, yeah, Brandon, go for it. And it kind of, it did kind of evolve from there, but then you just took ownership of it, and it helped me recognize, like, wow, this guy is insanely talented. How do I give him the freedom that he needs, and ultimately create a role for him, because that's where his strengths lies. How do we work around that?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So one thing I've already lean into you on this question for anybody, how like you're like you mentioned the date side of it. We're at Smash this week. Technology continues to be a big point of emphasis, and so how has the technology benefited played part into the identification of excessive work and alignment for cellular systems and other tools? But how has that really helped? Take what's conversations out of this.
I think for us, in our communication, one of the things that we can always bank on is we have the same end game. Sometimes marketing has a different end game than what sales might have, right? Like it's lead generation or nurturing, but really my marketing focus is always sales opportunities, because that's what's going to move the needle.
Yeah.
And so no matter how much we slice and dice on the marketing side and we analyze and come up with better practices, it's routinely based in, I don't think I've ever run a campaign where I don't end up in the CRM at some point analyzing the sales data side of that too, so that we see that funnel all the way from top to bottom, so that we can continue to have those great conversations as to, did this campaign work? Well, it may have worked for me, but did it work for sales? And if it didn't work for sales, then yes, it didn't work. All right. So I think that's one of the big pieces with our data, is always circling back into the CRM at some point and seeing real results out of it, rather than maybe the marketing KPIs that claiming something was a success and over, oh no, it's sales fault.
You just don't learn that correctly.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's always taking that ownership and making sure that we're aligned in what we're trying to actually drive, which is always made that.
So is moving and understanding that from the full tonic journey. And it starts, before they've been connected with and really when putting those pieces together. You like foster that collaboration, where you can be open with one another, and they may get the root of it. It's, I'm giving, like we're at Marky's saying, like, we're giving you the leads, like, you're just not taking, it's like taking them through the funnel. And sales might say, no, we need better leads or better, whatever that looks like. And how do you balance that collaboration where, again, it goes back to, I think, your vulnerability side and open communication?
I think there's certainly a trust, right? We have trust. So that's first and foremost. And that took time. You can't just start working with somebody and have trust develops. But we don't use national aggregators. So our lead volume is low. Like, that's just how we function. So Brandon and I have to get together, and I'll say, okay, I'm going to work in the team to make sure that we're maximizing these sales leads. What else do you have? What other ideas do you have? And it's never pointing fingers. I don't think we've ever had a conversation us pointing fingers. I did move some of his objects in his office. One says the whole time he's got mad at me in 10 years. That was our only argument.
I just picture there was like the week of no conversation, right? And leadership's like, what's going on? Like, well, no, made a few things. You moved it back. I won't do it now. I didn't know if you were going to say something.
I was, but then I got distracted by the. Sorry. It was like this big ETSD flashback moment now. Like, somebody moves a potato head. What are we doing?
Just picture you like throwing your microphone down, walk where I just, that's it. Yeah. I'm not going to have this conversation every day.
Now, I remember, I'm going to add to that. I said potato heads. I think one of the other things that really makes this communication that we have work really well is we're both highly accountable. We're like our own worst critics. And so it's almost, instead of pointing blame, like for me or for Jessi, right? Instead of me externally pointing blame and being like, oh, I'm giving you guys great leads, it's always, how can I give you guys better leads?
Yeah.
Right. It's something that maybe I didn't do right, or something that we can improve or have a better process for. And the same way on the sales side, right? How can we get these people to convert better? What are we missing on this part? Where are they getting stuck? And we'll dive through data and try to figure those pieces out. So that's the big chunk that is just, we're just really accountable to whatever side we're needing to deal with to make sure that we're improving whatever offer we've got.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Neither one of us are status quo people. Neither one of us are always trying to find ways.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It's because far too often you see one group that's a status quo, and the other is probably ready to top of world. Where then some would be like the heads kind of hit each other because you have two different, say, perspectives from like what you said, infrastructure comments, Jack, and how to get there. How do you do guys based on meetings, or how does just because I know this type of collaboration needs to be attached by it's not just one that happen. And I do they know how this works, if it's just are you always involved in how it being your parts together as well with these conversations?
We do. So up until a year ago, I was in the same office as Brandon, so that was easy. But now I work remote, so we have a scheduled meeting weekly. Brandon and I have a one-on-one, and then we have a team meeting.
We have several unofficial meetings throughout the day and throughout the week. I mean,
Well, and that's where you probably get a lot more done is the unofficial meetings. Maybe you get into some of the details at that point, right?
Yes, yep. And I process verbally, so I'm like, okay, Brandon, just let me get this out, and then tell me your thoughts. And then he'll call sometimes, and on the marketing side, I'm not gonna have the solutions for him, but I could hear him out and asking up questions to where he could hopefully get what he was looking for out of that call.
and let's be honest, right? Like data is great and wonderful, but I'm not the strongest with like words all the time either. It's always great to be able to play on each other's strengths. Sure, I know that Jessi can wordsmith anything, but she needs to really, really quickly. And so I may have an ad and it's like, okay, this thing's gotta be 15 words, and I send over 55 words instead. I'm like, all right, fix this. You're gonna do something out of this. Let's pare this bad boy down a little bit. So I think that's another good part. And we know we have different strengths. We know we have different things that we work on, and they complement each other. But so where one of us might struggle with an area, we can help build that up, but also provide additional support for each other in that area.
Whereas we're Smash, you have a lot of great sessions. You both, Jessi, you're presenting yesterday for a lot of great feedback. Brandon, you're presenting tomorrow.
What are some excited emoji training or some conversations you're getting that got sales and market siders and living,
and where you see these conversations take it? Ask the loaded question there. I think there are a lot about it.
I guess for me, what is really exciting to hear and be a part of in the conversations is how we're using technology to better understand the buyer's journey, and how we are striving with technology to simplify processes so that sales directors or salespeople have more time to spend in that relationship with those prospects, those people that really need that, rather than, just the new shiny object, right? It's all about optimization of those everyday tasks. How do we make things better? How do we make things faster? How do we make them more efficient so that we can spend less time doing those tasks and more time really being those creative minds and getting the industry back where we can be a front runner in technology. We can be a front runner in marketing, and it takes time and energy. And so the more we can take off of our plate so we could be innovative is always fantastic to be.
Far too often you think about technology and then everything, but the truth and by the same living, which is leveraging technology so we could be huge, and so we can actually.
Speaking with Jane, then guys, so based on her session on you, she was talking about
Provide yourself to. And I know that's such an important part in the area that I know you fully program with. So would share that.
I think every time I come to these events, it's understanding what vendors are here, what they offer, and how they can take some of this off of our plate. We're not in it alone as providers. So how could we leverage those partnerships? So again, focus on the people, because the people are what matter, and developing the coaching the people, and then supporting the residents from that standpoint. But you can't do it alone either. So understanding who the partners are and who the good partners are.
Yeah. How do you see the relationship sales and marketing in the next 10 to 15 years? It's because I know sales and marketing changed drastically. I'd say really over the last, I think we always jump back to that pre-post COVID. I feel like so much changed how we communicate with which residents, and how, where they started this buyer journey.
Lily Ballper, where this goes of you next 3 years.
I think that marketing has finally been seen and heard in a way that they haven't in the past. I think it's been just marketing get us leads, but now we're understanding the type of lead and how do we engage earlier on? How do we educate? I think they've got a seat at the table that they deserve. So I'm really excited to see that partnership expand, and maybe it's not sales and marketing, maybe it is sales separate, marketing's separate, but it's still just like all of our other operational departments, you can't do it without collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like it's a growth conversation. Do I just say as you want? I'm sorry,
I was going to say, I think the other thing that I see sales and marketing evolving towards is them working together, both sales more on the top end of the funnel, having different conversations, but also marketing being able to help on the bottom part, helping through some of those objections and being able to help provide some of that material or that content that is needed after somebody acquired, right? Like you can't just drop the ball. And I think that there's so many collaboration points throughout the entire buyer's journey that we can both help out.
Right. So thinking about this conversation, what's your final thoughts when it comes down to it? What's your parting advice, buddy?
You need strong team members on both sides, on sales and marketing. Trust each other. You gotta be coincide when it comes to being successful, because at the end of the day, we're doing it to have cool communities because there are people that need our services and they need what we do. So I think it's about trust. It's not a competition. We are on the same team.
I think that's really good advice. They're like, wait, you base to the side. Hard too often, it's like, no, I did that. No, Fred, that was us. And it's hard to sell. Let's collaborate. Let's win. It's for you, Brandon.
I don't know how I could overseas. Perfectly said. It was perfectly said. Library is the more we continue to talk, the better we can make each other. I appreciate it. And always, again, just like our mission, right, in marketing is always to help provide that next sales opportunity, provide that activity. But at the end of the day, yeah, right, it's always about the person, right? It's the people we coach, the people we lead, or those families that need us. That's so it's getting them the help that they need when they need her.
I like how y'all both had great cordon thoughts here. Like, it's just what Jessi said, and you had this great, additional thoughts. So thank you for sharing. Thank y'all both for being part of this morning. I know it's early, and so thank you so much. Where can people find you?
LinkedIn. Definitely.
Okay. So also, for Jessi and Brandon, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. And what have seen you up that?
As I mentioned earlier, Jessi and Brandon are the dynamic duo of senior living sales and marketing, and after that conversation, I'm sure you see why. Here are a few notes that I made during this conversation. First, foster a culture of trust and vulnerability. The key to successful sales and marketing collaboration is building a foundation of trust. Jessi and Brandon emphasize the importance of being open, vulnerable, and willing to ask for help from each other. As leaders, creating an environment where egos are set aside and the focus is on the collective success is crucial. Second, leverage data and technology to align efforts. Technology, specifically CRM systems, played a vital role in unifying the sales and marketing teams at Primrose. By using data to track full customer journey, they were able to ensure marketing efforts directly supported sales goals. Investing in the right tools and processes can help break down those silos. And third, prioritize continuous improvement and accountability. Both Jessi and Brandon describe themselves as not status quo people. They are constantly looking for ways to optimize their sales and marketing strategies, holding each other accountable, adopting a mindset of continuous improvement where success and failures are analyzed objectively and will drive better results over time. Thanks again to Jessi and Brandon for their willingness to share their insights. Now let's go make some meaningful connections.
Thank you for listening to The Move in Healthcare Growth. Add your voice to the conversation. Email the show at themove@unlockhealthnow.com. Follow us on social media and stay up to date at unlockhealthnow.com. Also, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode.